to ya. Potato salad! We still on for lunch? Great! Sliced bread. You're the best thing I've seen since, well, you know. Oh, hello! Don't think I forgot about you. Friendly at Fareway. It's more than just a name.
Hello and welcome into the Northwest Bank Studios for the Daily Clone here on a Wednesday, presented by Fareway Meat and Grocery. I am craving a steak right now, and there's no better place to get one than your local Fareway Meat and Grocery. Go and get yourself some meat and enjoy a nice cookout this weekend. We are Kyle Kempt days away from Iowa State football. I can't believe we are this close. Fall camp has been filled with position battles, 100-degree practices, Rocco Becht building chemistry with some new weapons. All of that is good. Iron is sharpening iron, as the Cyclones have been playing the Cyclones every day for about a month now. But soon, the attention turns to the Wildcats. How soon? Matt Campbell has that timeline.
The nice thing is it may be week 0 for everybody else. It is still week 1, in terms of for us. So, I don't think that has holistically shifted how we've gone through fall camp. We usually, this is still a huge week of Iowa State versus Iowa State. I think next week we use the early part of next week to clean up Iowa State versus Iowa State. Where are we internally? How are we going to start the season with some of it? I think there'll be still some really big, good on good practices. And then, I think as we get through the mid part of next week, now we start to, dabble into, our opponent and start to put some of the game plan. Nice thing is for us, we've been able to really put a lot of the game plan stuff from a coaching standpoint. For those first couple games, we were able to really work on that through the summer. And so we'll transition that as we get ourselves a little bit towards the midpoint of next week and kind of transition to game 1 and get ourselves ready for that. So that's the nice thing a little bit from our end of it schedule-wise. It really doesn't change other than we're just bumped up a week in terms of when we started.
If you want to learn more about KState, Rob Gray and I did a deep dive on the Wildcats last week on Williams and Bloom Wednesday. I'd highly encourage you to check that out. The game themes for the season are released. The home opener against South Dakota is the Cyclone Club Day of Honor, recognizing all of the Cyclone Club members. The Cyhawk game is a Cardinal out, just as it should be. The next home game against Arizona is a whiteout for the second straight year. BYU is homecoming. Arizona State has nothing listed yet. That could and probably will change. And of course, Kansas is homecoming. Moving into a little bit of basketball, I had a big report on yesterday's Daily Clone from the final media availability of the summer. TJ Otzelberger, Nate Heisey, and Eric Mulder all had pretty interesting things to say. I'd highly encourage you to check that out in case you missed it. Now here's TJ Otzelberger on who he thinks has had the best summer.
I would say if you look at best summer, I would go with Milan. I think the consistency that he's brought to the table has really been tremendous. If when we play live and we keep the real game minutes of from that live play, he's playing at a level where he'd be averaging 18 points, north of 18 a game, and making 4 threes a game, which certainly would be amazing if he were able to get near that or be close to that. So I think his daily attitude, there's nobody that approaches practice having more fun, more enthusiasm, more excitement. There's all these areas he's taken a step in his game, from physicality defensively, guarding the basketball, rebounding the basketball, and then the volume and the shots he's getting from 3 have all improved. So I would say Milan has really stood out to me. I think he's made a big jump and a big step. I think he's ready to play at an all-conference level and beyond this season and have a massive year and impact winning for us.
Now Cyclone Fanatics' Chris Williams has his thoughts on what he expects out of Momcilovic this season.
Milan Momcilovic reminds me a little bit of Matt Thomas with probably a higher upside. Took both of those guys a little bit of time in their career to have the assertiveness to try and take over a game. We didn't really see that from Milan his freshman year. We definitely saw glimpses of it last year. And I think this is the year where he's got that confidence to just go and take a game. TJ Otzelberger's talked a lot about his percentage so far this summer. And a lot of that is just confidence, right? Like even with like Thomas back in the day, you knew he had the ability to make the shots. But The speed's different, the physicality's different, and you've got to have that confidence. Milan has been through the ringer now, and I'm just fully anticipating a major breakout, first team all Big 12 type season for 22.
Now on to a former Cyclone. Georges Niang is on the move again. Just a little over a month after being traded from Atlanta to Boston, Niang has been shipped off to Utah, back where he really got his breakthrough in the NBA. Niang did get some run as a rookie in Indiana, if you remember, but his first stint on the Jazz is where he really carved out a role for the first time in the league. Niang played 206 games in 4 years in Utah, easily his most of any team so far. So how does this impact George? Well, it sucks for one reason, because he doesn't get to play for his hometown team, and that's a bummer. I'm sure he was really looking forward to being back in the Northeast. With Boston in a bit of a reset year, he would have actually had a chance to put up some good stats on what looks to still be a playoff team, even if they're not NBA title contenders. But with Boston in a reset year, this seems to be just them shedding some salary to take and develop a younger player. He's going to be stepping into a full rebuild in Utah. I'm sure they'll greatly appreciate his veteran presence. And the good news is that Niang could definitely be picked up by a contender at the trade deadline this winter and be back in the playoffs. Either way, we know that Niang is going to a place that will appreciate him. Utah fans are the one that gave him the nickname, the minivan. That's going to do it for this Wednesday's edition of the Daily Clone. Again, we are inching towards football season. This is the spot that you want to be. Thanks to Fareway Meat and Grocery for making it happen. And if I have one request, please, if you watch this, if you enjoy it, and you're not subscribed to our Cyclone Fanatic YouTube channel, please do that right away. Please. We have so much content coming your way, and you subscribing helps us, it helps our sponsors, and it helps you get all of these great videos in your algorithm. Thanks for supporting the Daily Clone here on Cyclone Fanatic.